Okay, all right, everybody. It's literally, oh my goodness, like right there, it just hit 4 o'clock. So that was pretty cool. Getting started there right on time. So folks, we're gonna go for 2 hours. I know that you guys have been getting some exciting content. We have some exciting content to continue this thing right into our next guest. So we're gonna go full speed ahead. Very, very quickly. Get your pen and papers ready. I am not going to have time to go back when you say, what was that website? What was that note? But I do have my business partner, the lovely Donna Fox, is going to be joining and moderating for us in the chat. So if you ask anything in the questions box that I won't be able to go back to, she's going to be able to do it for you. So I've taken a 3-hour presentation and I've crunched it down to 2 hours. So we're going to go quick. In fact, I was even telling the guests here just before that we were going to be getting started, and that I was going to be doing a little bit of like an AI thing. And I told Anthony that I was going to play this thing on my next slide for you. That basically, let me just find myself here. You saw me get lost. I lost the camera. That was going to do an AI introduction, but I have to take some different things out. So I'll give you a brief explanation of what was going to happen and how we did it, and then we'll move on. So I'm going to shut my camera off here just to keep things going a little bit quicker, and we're going to jump right in. By the way, before I shut the camera off, I'm going to be showing you some case studies, and in those case studies, you're going to see different things like you see right here. I'm going to be showing you these different prompts. I have all of these different prompts that I'm going to show you how you can get that are going to do. We're going to do some case studies on them that are going to do some magical things that you're going to see during this 2-hour webinar. I'm going to give you access to all of that at the end of the webinar, at the end of my presentation, leading in to the next guest. So you want to make sure you stick on, because all of the resources to these Google Docs are going to be given at the end. So let's jump on in. I'll shut the camera off. Okay, and I'm actually in the wrong section. So let's start right here. Let's go on. So this slide that you're seeing right here, the one with my picture, basically what that was going to be, and just to save some time, was going to be an introduction of me, but it doesn't work well the way that we're doing the boot camp here with one guest to another. It was better that I came on camera. But normally, if I was going to start this webinar, you were going to hear something using this company right here called 11 Labs, all right? And I wrote the introduction to this, the start of a webinar using ChatGPT. I told it what I wanted to do. Oh, let me do one more thing that you guys are going to thank me for. Bear with me just 1 second here. I'm going to go into my displays. I'm going to make my computer a little bit bigger here. That's going to make the screen a little bit bigger. You're going to be much happier because you can see better now. And what this did, there's a company called 11 Labs. There's a few of them out there right now. 11 Labs seems to be one of the better ones. There's another company called HeyGen. They used to be called Movio. I'm going to talk about them in just a second. That's this company right here, HeyGen. But right now, with 11 Labs, there's one more company called Descript. I heard Alicia talking about it at the end. You could train it on your voice, and it'll actually speak your voice. So what I was going to do is I was going to play here at the beginning, and it was going to sound like, just like my voice. It was going to say, hey everyone, my name is Mike Filsaime, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Groove.cm. And you can see I had to put a couple of dashes in here and say Groove.cm to make it actually say the words, because sometimes it'll leave out, like it thinks it's a period. And when I do a webinar with this, I found that 75% of the people had no idea that it was an automated AI generated version of me, and 25% of the people said it sounded like I had a cold. So I wanted to give you that little resource right there, and let's keep moving on because we really do have a lot to cover. So what we're going to learn today is how AI is revolutionizing the digital marketing industry and increasing productivity by 10x and increasing your conversions by 50%, and in some cases even more than that. We've seen double conversions with some things I'm going to show you. So if you're not using AI, your marketing strategy is falling behind. Watch this training so you don't get left in the dust by your competitors. So there's an expression going around in AI. We're not going to get into all of the, is AI going to take over humanity? We've seen those movies, and there's some legitimate questions to go on there. But the question is I going to replace you? And so here's the real answer. People that know how to use AI are going to replace the people that don't know how to use AI. It's just like when the computer came out, there were people that were just like, I never learned to type, I'm a technophobe. And they had less opportunities, and people that embraced the computer, and then later the mobile device, and then apps, and the internet, and of course now AI. And if you were to put AI in the big pie graph, the circle chart of all of these different technologies, they're saying that it is equivalent to going back to the invention of fire or the wheel. So it's bigger. What we're going to see for humanity in the next 10 years, it's bigger than what we saw with the microchip and the transistor. It's bigger than what we saw with the personal computer and the business computer. It's bigger than the internet. It's bigger than mobile computing and mobile apps. AI is going to be the convergence of all mankind. And they call it a singularity. Like there's this term called the singularity. Elon Musk recently spoke about it. I like the way he described it. He said in science and in quantum physics, the singularity is a point where all known mathematics break down and you can't predict. So they say the center of a black hole is they can't predict what happens once you get in a black hole. And what they mean by the singularity is you won't be able to predict what happens when everything converges, when AI, everything, as they say in the movie, everything everywhere all at once will happen. We will cure cancer. We will be able to figure out the de-aging gene. We're going to de-age back to our prime self. We're going to live forever. And all of these things are going to have such a complex change on humanity. What happens when we live forever? Well, there's no reason to reproduce. So we're going to have questions like, do we have a lottery system for who can have a baby? So those things are going to be things that we're going to leave for other people. For us, what we want to do is understand that every part of the creativity process, which is difficult for about 9 out of 10 of us, actually sitting down and writing something, even if we have the gift to do it, is probably the most difficult thing. It's where we procrastinate the most. AI is like a calculator for words. It's going to allow you to express yourself. So you're doing the right thing. I want to applaud you for being on this boot camp, the Ultimate Profit Boot Camp, and listening to the previous guests and the ones that are going to follow me, and understand that everything they teach you and every offer that you've seen and every opportunity to grow you're going to see is going to be able to be turbocharged when you apply AI to it. AI is like getting your body inside of a mech suit. What is a mech suit? That's one of those robotic suits where you climb aboard and you now have like the superpowers of the suit, right? That's what AI is. It's an extension of you. So let's move on. We got a lot to cover. Okay, so in all of human progress that you see there on the green line on the bottom, right where you see the first arrow, that pretty much describes the Industrial Revolution. That starts about 1875. So what does that mean? That means that if you take any single century and look at the person that lived a century before them, and you dropped somebody in from the 1300s, and you literally dropped that person into the 1400s, he could probably continue the rest of his life and not even know that he jumped a century. In fact, you can take somebody from the 1500s and drop them into the 1400s, and they could wake up one day and the only thing they would think is that they're in a strange town. They wouldn't even know that they're in a different century. And so that's why you see such a slow, gradual climb up until we hit about the 1875. What happened in the last 150 years? In the last 150 years, we saw the train, locomotion. We had Edison with electricity, then the light bulb, then Alexander Graham Bell with the telegraph, and then the telephone, and then we had the automobile with Henry Ford and Daimler Benz inventing the car. From there, the Wright brothers invented flying, and then we got airplanes, and then we got jets, and we got the radio, and we got television, and we got the internet and the Industrial Revolution. And so it is clear as day. If you take any person that was born in 1985, and by the time they were 15 in the year 2000, if you drop them back 100 years prior, they would immediately know that there is something wrong. And that's what you see right there in that first arrow. And then moving on in the next 150 years, it says you are here. This is what I was saying before, what's about to happen with AI. Now, if this presentation, if I was doing this 7 months ago, you'd be saying, what is Mike even talking about? Why are we talking about AI? Well, then of course ChatGPT came out in November, and then we kind of all understood what's happening, and we kind of saw the power. Some people jumped into it a little bit more than others, but I think anybody at this point is understanding, especially being on some of the presentations, that's just some pretty incredible times that are about to come. So what I want to do is I want to walk you through a brief history of modern artificial intelligence. Okay, and so it basically starts in 1997 when we saw the first application of it. It actually started, they started talking about it in the late 60s and early 70s. Most of these people were considered like the quacks of science to even think that that you could develop a neural network, because they never thought there'd be enough computing power to do it. But in 1997, Deep Blue, developed by IBM, and I'm reading in the top left corner of the screen there, was a chess playing computer, and it defeated the world champion Garry Kasparov. Folks, this was like on the the front cover of Time magazine. This was one of the biggest things in tech at the time, that a computer was actually able to beat a human, the world's best player at chess. Today, you can get on a treadmill at your gym, and the chess computer will beat the world champion on a treadmill, right? So it's not that impressive today, but in 1997 it was. So let's do a big time jump now. In December 10th of 2015, OpenAI is founded by Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and by the way, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk were the original founders of PayPal, Reid Hoffman from LinkedIn, Sam Altman, who was the president of Y Combinator, who is the largest incubator in the world. They started companies like Airbnb and hundreds of others. And Sam Altman was the president of that. And they saw what was happening with Google's DeepMind, okay? And they realized that AI is, if you get access to it, you can have such advancements in AI that it could be virtually impossible for anybody else to catch up, because you could actually use your AI to train your AI. And Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Reid Hoffman, and Sam Altman felt that they didn't want to see AI be in the hands of the tech companies. The same things that we see now about social media and Amazon and Facebook and Twitter and Apple and all these companies having control, they wanted to prevent that. So they decided to open up something called OpenAI. We're going to talk about what's happened since then, but they wanted to democratize AI. They wanted to create something open source and give it essentially to humanity. In fact, Google did some nice things with DeepMind. It's not here on the slide, but they basically took what would have taken 1 billion scientists 16 years each. They were able to do in 4 hours with AI, and they basically cracked this molecular compound that now they've created an open database, and they gave it away free to humanity for all people and all drug companies and everybody to have access to, and we're going to be seeing some incredible things come from that as well. But Google, just before December of 2015, wrote a paper essentially on GPT. They came up with this idea called a transformer. They open sourced the document. They made it a white paper. They gave it to the science community, and they didn't even realize what they had. It's as if they were trying to create something with uranium, and then somebody else read the paper and said, "Oh, we could create nuclear fusion with this. We could, create atomic energy." That's essentially what happened, and that's why in December of 2015, OpenAI took that paper and started a project. Moving on up here to 2016, developed by Google's DeepMind, AlphaGo was an AI program that played the board game Go against a human world champion. Now, they thought chess was one thing, but they thought that Go had just too many possibilities, and they didn't think it would be possible that it could ever learn Go. Well, in March of 2016, it defeated Lee Sedol, one of the world's best, or probably the world's best Go player. In June of 2017, Google's brain team introduces the transformer model, a type of neural network that is especially good at tasks like language translation. Here's one that I like here. In December of 2017, the same people, DeepMind, that did AlphaGo, they created something for chess now, but now they didn't want to beat the best chess player in the world. They wanted to beat the best chess engine in the world. And that chess engine is called Stockfish. And it has what's known as an ELO rating of 3,600. Let me explain to you what an ELO rating is. Magnus Carlsen, who recently retired, and by the way, we just crowned a new chess champion today, but Magnus Carlsen, the best, some will argue he's the best chess player of all time, but he's definitely in the top 3. His ELO rating is 2825, and the computers are 3,600. How big is the difference between 2825 and 3,600? Well, let's put it this way. Magnus Carlsen is only 25 points higher. The second place player in the world is about a 2,800. Magnus Carlsen is 2825. And that 25-point advantage allowed Magnus Carlsen to be undefeated for over 2 years. You can pretty much guarantee a person like me that's a 650 is going to get my butt kicked 19 times out of 20 by somebody that's a 750. So Magnus Carlsen, being at a 2825, and Stockfish, the best chess engine in the world, is at 3,600, will beat him every single time he plays. He'll never be able to even come close beating a chess engine. And what is a chess engine? It's not artificial intelligence. A chess engine simply knows the history of every single game, every online chess, everything is fed into a database, and it has the knowledge and all the processing power of every single game that's ever been played. Okay, great. Let's put that on a shelf right now. We have an engine called Stockfish at 3,600 that could basically wipe the plate with humanity. That's just a chess engine. But AlphaGo, it played itself 44 million games in just 4 hours, and it beat Stockfish in 100 games, losing no games. It did a draw in 74% of the game, 74 games, and it won 26 games. So this is a computer that was not given any chess engine. It was not given anything but the rules of the game. And it said, okay, play yourself like a toddler, like a chimpanzee, without knowing anything other than how the pieces move. In 4 hours, it came back and it beat the chess engine that has all of the world's information. And it did that in 4 hours. That should tell you how powerful artificial intelligence is. And don't let anyone tell you that artificial intelligence that we're seeing right now it's really just predicting the next word. That was pretty much the case with GPT-2 and GPT-3 and 3.5. But GPT-4, the one that is available to us now, is actually showing some signs of, they say, being sentient. Now, there's a big term around that, what that actually means, and consciousness. But the difference is it can actually think and reason. So here's a riddle for you, if you guys want to put this in the chat. Put the answer into this as you hear me. There are 50 murderers in a room. Now, you go in and you kill one of those people. How many murderers are left? If you want to put your answer in the chat, I'm going to take a look here. I'm going to open up the questions box. So there was 50 and you killed one of them. How many are left? All right. So, all right, Vincent gave an answer there. Somebody said 15, maybe they meant 50. Some of you are saying 49, same amount. Patricia, William, Vincent. Now, if you ask ChatGPT 3.5 that question, it's going to tell you 49. And if you ask it to explain its answer, it's going to say that, well, there were 50, you killed one, and now there's 49. But this is a riddle. You became a murderer. So now one died, but you're a murderer, and the answer is 50. Now, if you ask ChatGPT and you drop down to version 4, it will know that. So it's actually can reason, and they call that dimensionality. And there's a lot more for us to cover a little bit in the further in about 10 or 15 minutes. So let's keep moving on here with the history. excuse me. In June of 2020, OpenAI announces GPT-2 model. We'll talk about what GPT is in just a minute, but basically it's just, it's the little brain behind a computer that makes it prompt and respond. Okay, so look at this date right here, June of 2020. OpenAI releases GPT-2, and they now release their API for the first time. So then in January of 2021, put a 1 in the chat for me. Put a 1 in the chat. If you've heard of the company called Jasper, they used to be called Jarvis. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard of them, all right? And in just January of 2021, they're founded, and now take a look at the next one right over here by my mouse, okay? It says, let me just make this browser a little bit bigger. It says that in November of 2022, so this is exactly 20 months, not even 2 years. This is just a few months ago, folks. Jasper raises $125 million on a 1.5, actually, that's a mistake on my slide, a $1.5 billion valuation. That is pretty incredible. That really woke me up. And here's the interesting thing. When Sean Vossler at WebinarCon showed me Jasper, I'd heard of it, and I knew when it first came out, it was okay, but now it was working on GPT-3. I didn't even know any of these things at the time. And he shows, hey, Mike, take a look at this, while a speaker was talking. And he just literally wrote, write me an email to promote Groove.cm, and then it wrote an email in front of me. Now, 7 months ago, I got chills. I went, oh my God, I thought I saw the future. Today, you'd be like, well come on, that's ChatGPT, right? I've later come to realize, essentially, that Jasper is literally just a user interface company. They're not an artificial intelligence company. They may be now, they may be hiring people and doing their own models, but essentially what they did is they created an interface that worked with the API for OpenAI, just like ChatGPT. And by doing that, they were able to raise $125 million on a $1.5 billion valuation. Moving on. November 30th, 2022, OpenAI launches ChatGPT. That's when it all came around to us. Here's what happened. This guy that we see over here, Sam Altman, okay? He's the CEO and co-founder of OpenAI. He kept telling all of the developers on meetings, on Zoom calls, guys, I don't think you're really understanding the power. He kept using this expression. There'll be no interfaces in the future. The interfaces are going to be chat. And then everybody didn't understand what he was saying. If I would have heard him, I wouldn't have thought either. I thought they were talking about the little chat bubble that you see in the bottom corner of a screen, like intercom. And we've all had bad experiences with chatbots. We've all been like, why does he keep telling us to do chat? So nobody listened to him. And so what did he do? He releases ChatGPT as what? As a tech demo, a temporary tech demo to get exposure to find developers like me. Well, that's not what happened. Something completely different happened, and we'll talk about that here. Real quick, what is ChatGPT? The GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Essentially, it's a chat bot that produces AI-generated content based on the input. It's pretty simple. I think we all get that right now. So as we see here in 2018, they released GPT-1. This thing was about as bright as a chimpanzee, but we were all pretty excited about it. GPT-2 was released in 2019. GPT-3 went into beta in May of 2020, and then the full version was released in June of 2020. That's when Jasper, as we said, came out. And then in November, we saw the 3.5 version that was released to all of us. Now, as I said, he was looking to attract developers, but instead what happened, they went to 100 million users in just 5 days. Now, I have this graph here and a couple of things coming up to explain how impressive that is. So some of these are paid, obviously, but some of them are free to create an account. It took Netflix 3.5 years to get to that number. Kickstarter took 2.5 years. Airbnb, 2.5 years. Twitter took 2 years to get to 2 years. And remember, we all jumped on Twitter. took 2 years to get to 100 million users. Foursquare, 13 months. Facebook took 10 months. Dropbox, 7 months. Spotify took 5 months. Instagram, 2.5 months. By the way, TikTok took 2 months. And ChatGPT did this in 5 days. This is unprecedented. It created such a buzz that, as you remember, every time you went to use it, in many cases, it was down. Okay, they ended up creating ChatGPT Plus, a paid solution. From what I understand right now, as of 2 months ago when they released it, they had they're making $500 million a month in revenue just at a $20 a month service. It's actually changed the company's policies because of the cost involved to run the service. They originally had $1 billion investment from Microsoft. They've taken on another 10 billion. We're going to talk about that in another slide. And it's sort of, quote unquote, corrupted their original mission about being open source. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But let's take a look at some other things that took 100 million, how much time it took them to get to 100 million users. The telephone, 75 years. The mobile phone, which we all have today, still took 16 years. Netflix, as we said, 10, Twitter 6, Gmail 5, Facebook 48 months. Instagram 30, TikTok 9 months there, and ChatGPT 2 months. Now this is a little bit different. You're seeing that these numbers are slightly different than before because we're saying 100 million users. Okay, so this is very, very impressive what we're seeing here. So as we said here, this was Jasper just in less than 2 years, just simply using this technology, created a $1.5 billion a year company. Here's some pretty important things that have happened as well. Google, if you don't know, Google makes still to this day 87% of all of its income from search and search-related advertising. That's how big search is to Google. And when there's a new interface for you to get information, that was devastating for Google. They announced this thing called Bard. By the way, if you haven't heard of it, bard.google.com. It's very much like ChatGPT. You have to get on the wait list for it. So the quicker you do it, the faster, it takes about 2 weeks to get approved, but it's Google's version of ChatGPT. And I think it's pretty good. In fact, it gives some better answers sometimes, when I'm looking for creative options. But because of that, Google lost $100 million as its new chat Bard fumbles in their demo. Microsoft announces ChatGPT capabilities coming to Bing. Let me show you that real quick. If you open up the Edge browser, the only way to get it is in the Edge browser. And so let's just go here. And if I go to Bing, I'm going to say what is Fusion? Okay. And now if I scroll up, you'll notice many of you may not even have known that was there. You just simply scroll up or swipe up, and you're seeing it's taking my my question, what is Fusion, and it's putting it. Here's my question. It does a Google search, unlike ChatGPT, so it has access to the internet. But check this out. They also have this little thing right here called Compose. And let me see. I think the way my browser is here. They have this Compose feature where you can write different things and ask it to be professional, informational, funny, casual, enthusiastic. Do you want a paragraph, an email, a blog post, or an outline of ideas, short, medium, or large? And it's kind of like a Chat GPT built right into Bing. But the difference is, watch this. There's something that just came out. What is Microsoft Jarvis? Now, what's SOFT? Okay, sorry guys. If I put this in here, if I just ask for this question right here, let's just do a short paragraph. It's going to tell us about Microsoft Jarvis. And while that's happening, let's just go to ChatGPT and ask the same thing. Oh, interesting. I wonder if they're feeding some information to This is not the case. Oh no, this is the case. I saw this marble thing here. So actually, it's interesting that this technology just came out and ChatGPT has access to it. ChatGPT doesn't normally know all of those things. This is a new thing that just came out. What is Auto GPT? This is something that's interesting, guys. You know, we used to get these things in ChatGPT that it says as a language model, I only have information going till November 2021. This is the first time I've ever done a demo, and it has information from the last 30 days. So I believe that ChatGPT is now getting some information shared from Microsoft and Microsoft Bing, because generally you'll get an answer here like this that you can only get when you're tied into a search engine. So we all learned something new. ChatGPT is now giving us information that's tied to the search engines. Moving on. Microsoft invests $10 billion in ChatGPT after it already invested $1 billion, making it 49% owner of and the largest shareholder of OpenAI. They have now immediately pushed the gas pedal, pissing off people in OpenAI, pissing off people in the tech community. They're releasing information too fast. It's scaring people. There's a memorandum that went around. 50 people in the tech industry, like Steve Wozniak, Elon Musk, and many people, and the owner of Stability.ai, competitor to OpenAI, signed a paper for everybody to stop AI until we can look at the safety ramifications beyond a GPT-4. And Microsoft is like, hell no. And if Microsoft says no, then Google's going to say no. It's literally the AI wars are going on right now. Google can't afford to have this technology that they were 2 years ahead of everyone. They are so far ahead in technology, they just haven't baked it into many of their different products yet, because they felt, well, they were like Kodak. Hey, if we invent a digital camera, we're going to get rid of all of our photo mats. So they let somebody else beat them to the punch, and they lost valuation. What happened since then is Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, put out a red alert. And that red alert was to get the entire company, they've only done that one other time in their company, and that was when Apple introduced the iPhone. And boy, did that change the world. And Larry and Sergey, who have been retired since 2018, one of them was in Europe. They both flew in. They arrived at 2 o'clock in the morning, pretty much in their pajamas off a long flight. And they went 48 hours talking about this and saying, okay, it's time for us to compete. And folks, this is really exciting for us. That's like when the iPhone came out and then Android came out. This is the times that are going on right now. The problem is Microsoft has told OpenAI they're no longer allowed to release any more white papers. And if you remember the 1984 commercial of Big Brother looking on, that's essentially what's happening. And that's why recently, it's not even on these slides, is 4 days ago, Elon Musk just announced they're entering the game with a brand new company called X.ai, and he's going fully open source with all of his AI. Moving on here, you see OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, is now valued at $29 billion, and they believe it's going to go to $1 trillion in the next 10 years. So moving on here, Google, even though the AI wars are going on, don't count them out. The only thing is they're slow to put things into the application, but many people are saying they're a year or two in many of the other areas of AI, like biology and mapping and all of these different things. So you can never count Google out. They had the innovator's dilemma. They were afraid to introduce a chat bot because less people were going to use Google. Now they're forced to, and it's only going to be exciting times. So when ChatGPT or GPT-3 came out, basically, when you look at a brain and you look at the neural networks that creates the complexity of a brain, you can see the difference between a bird, a chimpanzee, and a human. So GPT-3 had 175 million, okay? I'm sorry, that's 175 billion, I apologize. It had 175 billion neural transmitters, neural networks, okay? And GPT-4 has 100 trillion, all right? So that's a massive, massive difference when you look at the difference in what they can do. And in terms of where we were just, when this came out a few months ago, ChatGPT was able to pass all of the state exams, the SATs, the bar exams, and all those different things, but it didn't do that well. It got like a 73, a 78, an 82 score out of 100, and it finished in the bottom 10%, meaning 9 out of 10 people that in the graduating class did better than GPT-3. GPT-4 now takes the test, and it can now finish in the top 90%, meaning it can pass the bar exam of law in the United States and any exam for law in any country. It knows, it's an all-knowing godlike being that is smarter than 90% of all of the smartest people that are able to pass the test. They didn't think that this would happen, folks, until 2030. A couple of other things that are interesting is right now, MIT just released a study, and I've installed it on my computer, something called Alpaca. It gives you the ability to train a language model, the entire thing. You can get it off of GitHub, and you can install ChatGPT on your own server or your own computer or your iPhone for just $600 to train it. That's it. And ChatGPT took $400 million to train GPT-3 and 4. And they thought that it would take until 2030 to get it down to $600. They thought it would be $40,000 in 48 months. And MIT got it down to $600 in just last week. Now, it's about as intelligent between 3 and 4. So it's not quite as good as GPT-4, but it's just to show you that convergence is happening right now. This is a quote by Steve Jobs. I'm going to do a terrible Steve Jobs impression, but I'm going to try to embody him from one of his videos. And this is what he said. I think one of the things that really separates us from high primates is that we're tool builders. And I read a study that measured the efficiency of locomotion for various species on the planet. The condor used the least energy to move a kilometer, and humans came in with a rather unimpressive showing, about a third of the way down the list. It was not a too proud showing for the crown of creation. So that didn't look so good. But then somebody at a Scientific American had the insight to test the efficiency of locomotion for a man on a bicycle. And a man on a bicycle, a human on a bicycle, blew the condor completely off the charts. And that's what a computer is to me. What a computer is to me is the most remarkable tool we've ever come up with. And it's the equivalent of a bicycle for our minds. And then recently, the owner of Stability.ai, which is a competitor to OpenAI, they're even more open. He brought up this quote, and he says that AI is now like a rocket ship for our mind. I really want you to come away from this. If you're saying, why is Mike spending so much time here, the first 40 minutes on this, is because, as Tony says this, it's to impress upon you how important this is. And that when you get off of this, I want you to go to your spouse, and I want you to walk around, and I want you to pace when you see the case studies I'm about to show you. And when your spouse or somebody in your family says to you, or your significant other, what's the matter? I want you to be dumbfounded, because you won't be able to encapsulate the last hour into 5 minutes. You're only going to have to be able to say, I wish you could see what I just saw. I see the future, and we need to be part of it. All right. This is what Bill Gates recently said. I consider AI to be one of the 4 big technological events of my lifetime. And when pressed on those, it was the transistor or the microchip that they kind of led into the same thing. Then the internet, then mobile computing, and now AI. So when I did this presentation a month ago, that's where that ended before we went into the case studies. But things have happened so fast. These are the recent updates that have happened within 2 weeks of each other, just all recently. So I'm going to blast through this. Stability.ai launched an open source AI platform. Just yesterday, they released something called Stability ML. It's their version of ChatGPT, and damn, it's really, really good. Stability.ai is an open source community that allows users to publish all of their information over at huggingface.co. I have this website open over here. Hugging Face is kind of like the GitHub for AI. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But getting back to the presentation here. Next, as I just told you, Stanford University released a language model similar to GPT-3, which you can now install and run on your own computer or your own website for $600. NVIDIA announced an entire open source platform. Now they're jumping in the game, which includes Nemo, which is their GPT version, and Picasso, which is like their text-to-image generation. And they're making it available to all developers free, open source, not just an API, but they're giving the code. Quite impressive what we're seeing. Why? Because they want you to use their servers. They give you the code if you use their servers. Not even on this slide, Amazon just 3 days ago announced the same exact thing. They released something that writes code, competes with Microsoft's Copilot, called Code Whisperer. Very impressive. We got to move on though. Google announced an integration in AI in their suite. I want you to go to YouTube and just type in Google announces AI in G Suite, and you're going to see this incredible demonstration, a 3-minute video where it'll create a PowerPoint slide for you just on a topic. Or if you go, all you have to do is say, make the slides animate, make the bullets animated. Everything now is, the entire user interface of everything is going to be prompt based. Okay. The day after that, Microsoft announced something called Microsoft 365 Copilot. And so Microsoft does this demo showing you how you can now have a natural conversation with Google Sheets, with Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. And you could get into a meeting in Microsoft Teams and literally just type, give me an update on what's happening so far. I'm going to show you right here, Bing just introduced into Skype. And I can now add Bing into all of my different conversations here. And I could ask it a question like, give me a recap of the day. And I'm not going to let that go out here, but because I don't know what it's going to say. We have some private information that's going on, but I'm going to let that bake on the left side over there. And if it doesn't give anything that I don't mind, I'll pull it back over. But my point is here, folks, that AI is being introduced into all of the current apps that we currently have. Okay, so moving on here, Canva, they just did an event. You know, like how Apple does their events. So when you're done today or tomorrow morning, look up the Canva event. Oh my God, it's incredible what they just announced, what you can do with Canva. I think one of the most impressive ones of anything I've spoken about today is something that Adobe released recently. It's called Adobe Firefly. It's to compete with Canva. And I gotta tell you, I think Canva is in trouble. When you see what you can do with Adobe Firefly, it's just crazy. I wish I had the time to demo all of this stuff for you. We just don't. Unreal Engine announced a new Fortnite studio where anybody can now go and create games like what Roblox is for kids. Any of us can now go and develop your own game and put it into the marketplace with their engine, and you don't even know how to code. And they'll give you 70% of all the sales. So if you remember when Plants vs. Zombies and Angry Birds and Flappy Bird and all those things, you know, came out when the iPhone came out and millionaires were made, well, Unreal Engine just announced Fortnite Studio and a new marketplace where you could use their engine to create games. Again, really crazy stuff. Midjourney just came out with Midjourney version 5. Moving on here on the next slide. Wonder Dynamics. This is an AI tool that automatically, let me just show you how this is, folks. This is Wonder Dynamics right here. I'm going to open this up. And what this allows you to do, okay, is you simply drag a video into here like this. So you would create a project, right? So I would click continue, and then I would simply drag a video in like this. Okay, folks, it's this simple. It's free currently. It's not going to be free forever, okay? And then you simply just tell it to find a person in here, and it's going to scan the entire thing for an actor. Okay, and then it finds me, and then I can simply drag any one of these people onto here and watch what can happen. I can now create a video that looks like this. Now, you're not going to hear this, but this is, I'm going to kind of talk over it. So you hear, hi. Well, I won't talk. AI is the hottest thing. In fact, there's a lot to learn.
some people are trying to show off. We would never do that.
Now it's a little slow for you because you're not getting the frame rate.
Over the next few days, to find out more information about it, we're going to be going over all things AI and how you can use it to 10x your business. But even more than that, we're going to show you a few tricks, like how we're doing what you're seeing here in this video.
I'm just letting it go. It's going to be done, as you can see here, in about 10 seconds.
If you want to learn more about how you can use AI in your business, make sure to join us on this AI Groove-a-thon. You can find out more information about it right underneath this video on this page. We'll see you on the next slide.
All right, folks, I did this in about 3 minutes. I added the video, like you see here, and then I simply just dragged one of these things right onto the canvas here. Let me just see here. So, oh, you have to hit next step, okay. Okay, you select the character, but you get the point. We got to move on here. But I did that with something called Wonder Dynamics. You need to go to that website and apply. It took me 5 weeks to get approved for that, okay? And that's over here at wonderstudio.com. Check out who's behind this thing right here. If we go to the team behind this, okay? The investors here are Steven Spielberg, Joe Russo, who are part of the Russo brothers, who did the Avengers: Infinity War, Endgame, Captain America: Winter Soldier, and Captain America: Civil War. Okay, you have some of the biggest investors in Silicon Valley, and then you have Ty Sheridan, who was the actor. He's the co-founder of this, the actor from Ready Player One. Okay, so this is some pretty big stuff here. Right now, it's free. I don't know how long it's going to be free, but man, I took advantage of it. So Chatbase, okay, chatbase.co. is a custom chat GPT that you could put on your own website. The best way for me to show you how that is to just show you right here. This is the website. They have a free and a paid version, okay? And how it works is you simply, as you see here, you put in every website of your let me refresh the page so it'll start. Okay, you start your chatbot, and you could either upload files or text or PDF. You put in a website. It's going to search it's going to basically crawl your website. Or you can just give it your sitemap at the bottom line right there. And then it creates a chatbot for you. How does that chatbot work? Well, it works just like this. When you're inside, you have a chatbot, and you give it these preset settings, like act as a friendly sales rep for Groove.cm. And if somebody asks, this is our pricing, and other than that, refer to all of the pages that I gave you. Don't respond to anything that doesn't have to do with the world. And they pre-write this for you. I just added some more stuff. Okay, what domains can it work on? And over here, this is the opening message. Hi, I'm an all-knowing AI assistant. Ask me anything about Groove.cm. I precede it with this question that they can just click here. Why is Groove.cm the best platform? Okay, I can choose my theme, light or dark. I put my little Groovezilla there as an icon. I change the color so it matches my website, and I get a bot that looks like this. Now, if I was to ask it, why is Groove free? Watch what it says. Groove offers a free plan because this is just absolutely crazy. Is it better than ClickFunnels? Now, obviously that's subjective, but I have a program not to be subjective, to be a cheerleader. Absolutely, it's better. Groove is a complete platform, blah, 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 blah. So watch this. How do I add a button? Now, I have many different apps. So watch what it's going to do. It's not going to answer my question. Well, it does. It says for group pages. It should have said which app are you asking for, but basically you can see it's answering everything. So what did I do? I put this over here. Boy, we got to move fast, but don't worry. We've got a lot. We've gone through a lot. We've got a full hour and 10 minutes. Look what I've done. I've added it right to the bottom of my website right here. So it's answering questions from my users, and it's an all-knowing being about everything related to Groove using its world knowledge and what I seeded it with. But check this out. This is where it gets even better. Okay. I also put it here at support.groovedigital.com. And now when you come here, it pops up first. Okay. And you could ask a question here. And we've also added it here. Inside the app, when you ask for help, you would normally get a chat opens up like this here, and you got to go through the articles and all that. Instead, you go here and it pops up here first. Guess what we did? Anybody that has a business really needs to pay attention, because right now you should be going, what's the name of that website? It's called chatbase.co. It's free and they offer paid versions. We were able to reduce our help desk tickets by 70%. I can prove this to you right now. If I click on the dashboard, look at this. You can see people asking questions right here. This person just says, I want customer support. Great, it tells you how to get customer support. Okay, it says human. It says, I apologize, I'm not a human, but if you want a human, go here. They will be happy to assist you, right? It asks in Spanish. It gets a Spanish answer. This person says, where do I find product receipts? Hello, I purchased Groove Designer Pro. How do I FTP? All these different questions that it's asking here. And if it doesn't know here, right? If it doesn't know well, this one it knows. When it doesn't know an answer, it's going to tell you to go to the help desk. But this, folks, is not only a support person, but it's also pre-sales. And it's helping us give users information without having to wait 48 hours for my help desk or 24 hours. So pretty cool stuff. I want to show you some more stuff we'll do in a case study in a minute. Next thing I want to let you know is about something called latte.social. All right, get ready, pay attention. If you're not looking at the screen, I can only show this once. Okay, so here's how this works. I have a case study that actually shows you how to find clips, okay, by uploading a 1 hour long YouTube video. I used AI to transcribe it and then find clips that are noteworthy, and then output the times for your video editor to go and chop down the video. You don't even need to do that anymore. With latte.social, watch this. You grab a YouTube URL and you simply copy it and you paste it right at the front of the website, or create your account, or you can drag in a video off your computer. Once that's done, you could say whether or not you want a 30, 60, 90 second, 3 minute, or 5 minutes, or don't select and it'll find its own. And just like that, it went through a 90-minute video and found all of these different clips so that you can make micro content for your channel. It creates the title and the description for you to use at YouTube. You can make it vertical, and you could add subtitles to it. So now if you have that 1 hour podcast, you upload it to latte.social, it's gonna break it down into 16 different clips, vertical and horizontal, that you could put on your YouTube video, right? You've seen that before. Joe Rogan podcast is 2 hours and 20 minutes long, but the same day, 6 clips come out where he had to go to his producer and say, make a clip out of where I asked him what he felt about this. No, now this will automatically do it for you. No video editor needed. Very soon they said they're going to integrate directly with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, that you'll be able to one-click publish to your channel. I don't know if some of you guys are saying, oh my God, this is crazy, but folks, this is some insane tools that you're going to be able to do. Obviously, we're building all of this stuff into Groove.ai, which is going to be released in September. But let's move on here. AutoGPT just came out about 10 days ago. It's the difference between, let me actually show you right here. I believe I have a blog article right here. You could go to groove.cm/blog, and it's the latest article, all right? Groove.cm/blog. You click on here on the latest article. This is what has me very excited, okay? It's the combination of these 4 things. Number 1, AutoGPT, all right? So AutoGPT, let me see here. It's like a good version of Agent Smith. Basically what happens is the difference between a chat and AutoGPT is chat, you give it a prompt, it gives you an answer. With AutoGPT, you give it a goal, and then it creates its own plan, and it creates its own task, and until it makes the goal complete. So it's like a good version of Agent Smith from the Matrix, okay? The next thing is there's something called the Chat GPT plugins marketplace. Again, I don't have the time to go over all of this for you, but basically what happens is OpenAI now connects with Expedia, Instacart, Kayak, OpenTable, Shopify, Slack, Zapier, and Wolfram Alpha, and the internet. So you combine that the ability for automations, and you combine that with Auto GPT. And then this one down here, the third one, which is called GPT-4 for developers. This allows us to do multimodality, so we could upload video, and we can do now 50 pages instead of 3 pages worth of text. And then finally, these last 4 things, GPT-4, let's just go here, Microsoft Jarvis. This one is important. So Microsoft just partnered alongside of Hugging Face, which is like an open source community of all these people releasing models of text to video and all these different things. So now you'll be able to, when you combine all 4 of these things, let me give you an example of what will happen here. And I really recommend you read the blog when we go down here. I asked if you were to ask Auto GPT, now with the power of the plugins, Microsoft Jarvis, and all this different stuff, you can ask ChatGPT to create a marketing funnel for a personal development coach, including landing pages and an email sequence and a promotional video. And so now it has a goal rather than a task. It'll use ChatGPT, etc. Again, we don't have the time to do this, but it's on the blog. It'll show you how it will actually do all of this stuff here. And then when it's done, it will return an actual funnel that you could click and import into Groove.cm. So we're going to basically see AI funnels come from prompts very, very soon. That's some of the stuff that we're building. Again, if I had more time, I would slow it down. But some of the things that I went over for you before was chatbase.co, latte.social are 2 things that you want to look into. All right, and finally, we're going to move on here. Let's talk about what you can do with AI. All right. You can write content like your emails for your website, your funnel copy, blogs, articles, and sales letters. You can use it to write code and debug code. You'll be able to create websites and funnels with Groove.ai. You can do text to images. You can put a bunch of text in and say summarize. Let me show you something right here. So if I go into YouTube and I find the latest video, you want to take down this resource. I'm going to put it in here real quick. It's called GLASP, G-L-A-S-P, GLASP Chrome extension. Terrible word, very hard to say. GLASP, you add this to Chrome, and what it's going to do, it's going to do this for you right here. I'm going to click on interview, this random video right here. Okay, let me also put my AirPods in here. Okay, and now you're going to notice that I have this little thing right here above my recommended videos. And as soon as I click this, just like that, it transcribed the entire video for me, just like that. But that's not the big deal. The big deal is this ChatGPT icon that I can click right here. It opens it up into ChatGPT and automatically puts everything in here and summarizes it into 5 bullets. Or I can just say summary, just like that. And now it'll give me a paragraph summary without me having to watch an entire, how long was this video? 20 minutes. So just like that, I could find out, you know, what that video was all about. So as we said here, you could do summaries, music. I wish I had the time to show you. We created some music using AI, voice to text, text to voice, video can be created, text to video, and you can create books, reports, guides, and freemiums. Okay. So moving on from here, as I said, we've got some gifts for you. Okay. And I'm going to give you all of those gifts just at the end of the webinar. But what I want to go over right now is a couple of these different things that I have here for you for some different prompts. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to let me just pull this one tab over, and I'm going to put this right here. Okay. And let's do this one. Okay. So let's start with this one right here. Again, everything I'm showing you, you're going to get at the end of this this video. I'm going to show you where you can get them. So we did something, as we see here. Let's move on to the case study. We did something where we used AI to create all of the content that we're using right now for our campaign over at Groove.ai. It created all of the copy for our webinars. It helped me write the webinar. It wrote all of the bullet points on the page. If we go here to Groove.ai/replay, okay, all of these bullet points were done by me simply uploading the video to YouTube and then doing what I just showed you, getting the transcription, and with some prompts that I give you, that I'm going to give you as gifts, I said, give me a table of contents of what happened on the webinar. Then I asked it to do me a favor and summarize everything on a webinar into 10 bullet points. It did that. I then asked it to write me a 10-minute commercial. It wrote me a 10-minute commercial that you're seeing right here. And then I used a software called Moviola, which is now called HeyGen. And here's what I did. This is the website. You can create your own avatar. And so I'm logged in, and when you click on the avatar, you're going to see that they have different avatars here. But they have an Avatar Pro, and what I did is I stood in front of a camera for 4 minutes in front of a green screen. And all I did was tell my life story, because you don't want to be looking up and thinking of anything. So the easiest thing to do is say, I was born this year, I went to school here, I met this person, this was my friend, I said blah, blah, and in 4 minutes you're done. And now I can create a project by going to a template. Let's just grab any template here, just like this. I say, use this template. Okay, let's get rid of the Google in the background. I'm going to get rid of this little search box here, okay? And I'm going to get rid of this person, and then I'm going to drag me onto here, and I want me over to the left a little bit, and I don't want any of this stuff here either, okay, because it's getting in the way. And now I'm going to paste text in here, and then I'm going to have it use whose voice? Mike Filsaime, that I've cloned. Or I can upload an audio that I just recorded in my microphone, and guess what you're going to get? That name of that site is called HeyGen, because I'm not going to have time to show it again. You're going to get this. Now, what you're seeing right here, obviously, is not going to look good for you, because the frame rate is very slow on GoToWebinar, but this isn't me. This is an AI avatar created of me that my team can grab at any time, and I've cloned my voice, and they can put in a script, and they could create a YouTube ad without me ever having to do anything. It's going to look like me, and it's going to sound like me, and it's a great way for us to test 30 different ads on Facebook or YouTube and find out which one works. And then if it works and only 2 of them work, well, then maybe I'll go in the studio and record it. But why do I need to go into the studio and record 30 ads when 28 of them don't work? I hate doing that, and I didn't do that. My team wouldn't dare torture me with that, so we were very limited on how we could create ads and creatives. So what else was created with AI? As I said, the webinar registration. I asked it, as you can see, if I go here, all I did is I said, I'm creating a SaaS company. Can I tell you about it? And I answered all this question. This is called uploading the consciousness of your business to AI. And then after you do that, you can ask it to do anything. Write me an email. Write me a video sales letter. I'm doing a webinar. I need a headline. I need an email for the webinar. It knows it all. So yes, it created this headline, the sub headline, all of these bullet points, everything here. See, folks, that's the beautiful thing is, I'm a good copywriter, but I'm terrible at coming up with copy. Say that again. I'm a very good copywriter, but I'm horrible coming up with copy. When Donna says to me, Mike, there's a live stream going on tomorrow. What do you want the title to be? You know what I say? Mike Filsaime will talk about revolutionary ways to use AI in your business. Okay, is that good? That's a C minus. Why? Because I've got 9 other things going on to be interrupted, to be asked to come up with the most brilliant thing that I can. Now, I can go into ChatGPT because I've uploaded the consciousness of my business, and I can say, I am doing a webinar tomorrow. Can you give me a good headline? Move the microphone away from my face. Sub headline and bullets. Sure. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to slow down a little bit here to show you basically how this works. Okay. So I'm going to close out on this. As I said, we used AI in every single aspect. We used it I just got to open this up one more time. Let me open that up to the replay. As I said, it helped me with the slides. In fact, I'm using beautiful.ai to do my presentation today. We used logo.ai, an AI logo company, to create a logo. So if I look here at my logos, you're going to see, folks, we use AI for everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. There's nothing that we're not doing, and we're leaving our competitors in the dust with this. Our stuff is, our marketing has gone crazy. I haven't written a blog post in 10 years. I wrote one the other day because ChatGPT helped me express my thoughts. It didn't write the blog post for me. It helped me get my thoughts out better. So it wrote all of the timestamps, the video sales letter that you just saw. I had AI do the performance. It wrote these bullet points here, and then it wrote all of this information that you see here. We're going to talk about this in just a minute. And it wrote all of these things right here. We used AI for everything. But let me show you another case study real quick. I want to show you a website called fitclass.com. This is another company that we have. And FitClass is essentially like Twitch for getting fit. You can be an instructor and you can do your live classes and teach virtually, whether it's yoga or fitness. But here's what I did, okay? I simply went to ChatGPT, okay? And I said this, I want to give you some information to use with more questions to follow. Here's the information. And I did a brain dump, okay? And I've since improved this method, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to share this document here with you. You're going to go into ChatGPT, and you're going to literally, every prompt is written like this so that you know what's a prompt. You're going to take this and you're going to paste this right into ChatGPT. Act as an expert marketing consultant and copywriter with an expertise in direct response marketing. I'm going to provide you valuable insights about my business so that you can help me better. I need your marketing advice. I have filled out an intake form. Can I share it with you? And then after that, we can start. It's going to say, sure. And when I give you this Google Doc, all you've got to do is answer these 30 questions. And folks, you will never have to do anything ever again for your business. Every copywriting, checkout, cart abandonment sequence, email, website, funnel, everything you ever need. You're doing a webinar, take the time to answer these 30 questions. And then you can paste in these different tasks like this. For this next task, act as a pitch consultant for Shark Tank. Let me show you an example of that. When I did that, I was having a little bit of fun with it. I said, give me an elevator pitch. Write me a pitch that I can use on Shark Tank, make it fun, witty, and with a sense of humor. So let me take a little sip of my water and spill it all over my desk. And let me do a little performance for you. Let's have fun with me here, guys. Let's picture you're watching TV and I'm about to walk out on Shark Tank. And you hear, this next entrepreneur wants to shake up the fitness industry by combining virtual fitness and workouts. Boom, 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 boom. Good evening, Sharks. Welcome to fitclass.com, the ultimate virtual fitness marketplace where you can sweat in the comfort of your own home. You know how it is. You finally muster up the courage to join a gym, and before you know it, you're surrounded by buff, toned individuals who make you feel like the before picture in a weight loss ad. Well, we're here to change that. With FitClass, you can work out from the privacy of your own home, in your pajamas if you want to, and with our built-in tip system, you can even earn money while you burn calories. We're official partners with Zoom, so our trainers can reach a global audience, and you, as an attendee, can access a variety of fitness classes from yoga to CrossFit and everything in between. And the best part, it's free to join for both trainers and attendees. We're not just shaking up the fitness industry, Sharks, we're revolutionizing it. And we're not just asking for an investment, we're offering you a piece of the action. So who's ready to get in on the ground floor of the next big thing in fitness? FitClass is the future of fitness, and we're inviting you to be a part of it, right? And now Kevin O'Leary tells me that he's gonna crush me like the cockroach that I am. So what I wanna show you the power of this is I didn't give it any sales copy. I simply told it the attendees can do this. It's kind of like this. You could use Zoom, blah, blah, blah. And now it is at my beck and call for anything that I need. So let me show you the power of this. in this prompt document here, you'll see that it helps you build a website. For this next task, act as a web designer. And well, first you ask for a comprehensive list of every page that's needed. And you'll see that I did that right here. Right? What pages do I need for this website? You need a home page, you need this and that and everything. And then a little further down here, I said, okay, write me, did I skip it here? Let me see here. That's the About Us page. Here it is. Okay, I said, write me a block by block section of the home page. And then it gives me all of that stuff. And then later down here, I ask it to write me the copy for those pages. And I'm going a little fast because I need to find it. But okay, on the home page, the hero section with a typo, what should that say? And write the FAQs for me and give me all this. Basically what I did is I simply clicked the share button when I was done, and it created a share link, and I gave it to my designer. Now, my designer had built this website 4 months ago, and you know what it said? Lorem ipsum, lorem ipsum, lorem ipsum, lorem ipsum. You know why? Because my designer and my developers are designers and developers. They're not copywriters. So you know what they said? Mike, we need you to go into all of these pages, and can you write the copy for the lorem ipsum? And you know what procrastinating Mike did? Every week said, I'll do it next week. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever been there. You have people that are waiting for you to get information because they have 7 pages for you to fill out, but they built your WordPress site, but they're not going to write the copy, or they tell you they can get you a copywriter that can do it for $5,000. No, simply fill out these questions about on this document right here, right? And then follow these prompts. And as you will see right here, for the next task, act as a web designer and provide detailed guidance for creating an effective hero section. Specifically, what should the background image be? Everything. And then you repeat that for every section that it gives you in the output, because it tells you when you ask for a block by block breakdown, it tells you need this section. Great. Well, then at that point, you say, for that next prompt, give it to me for the FAQ section, for the blah, blah, blah section. It'll tell you how to design it, what the layout should be, everything. Folks, this is mind-blowing stuff. I gave you prompts that it can help you write your 3-minute video sales letter for your home page. So that is it for what we call uploading the consciousness of your business. I'm going to show you how you can get access to this Google Doc, and I'm going to show you a case study that walks you through exactly how to do that. Stick around, that's coming in about 45 minutes. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is I want to show you over here. Let's close this out. I have this thing here called the prompt engine. Okay, let me just see here. I have to just pull something up off screen. Bear with me. I thought I had this. I think I closed the tab, so I just have to open up the case study. And let me do this on screen just for a second. Okay, and all right, so that would be this. All right, folks, I'm going to show you where all those case studies are so that you can look at it. So you'll have it. Okay, so this is called Better Mid-Journey Prompts, and I wanted a different one actually, so bear with me just a second. I did get the wrong one, but it'll take me a second to get it. I want Better Mid-Journey Prompts, so it would be case study 6. Okay, better ChatGPT prompts. This is what I want right here. Okay, all right, so I have a case study that I'm going to show you where you can find it. And what it does is it turns boring prompts into good prompts. There's an advanced one where it tells ChatGPT to ask you some questions. Literally, guys, all you do is you copy this in and paste it. But let me show you what I mean by this. So when you go to ChatGPT, this is what most of you guys are doing. You're going to ChatGPT and you're saying, write me an email I can use to promote, and let's say you want to promote Active Campaign. Okay. And this is what you'll do, and you'll get something like this. A very boring, very, very short email. It's done before it even gets started. dear recipient, dear name, are you looking for a comprehensive? Okay, what I'm going to show you how to do is you can now take this prompt, okay, and with my magic prompt maker, okay, that you have right here. Oh, I did have that open. You can simply take this in like this, and I have a whole video that's going to show you this later, okay? And now you go to ChatGPT, and you paste this in, and it's going to create a new prompt for you. So I'm going to take the old boring prompt, write me an email to promote ActiveCampaign, and now you can simply put this in here. And it also says, give it some things like I need it for an email, but I'm just going to do it the dumb way. I'm simply going to paste this in for time's sake like this, and that's it. So now, instead of asking ChatGPT, write me an email I can use to promote ActiveCampaign, it gives me this right here, okay? Just like this. And now it's telling me I could add these more things here, but act as a marketing strategist. Let me just do this one more time here, folks. Sometimes we'll get a slightly, delete that. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna use ChatGPT 4. Okay, and now it's giving me a new prompt. And here's my prompt. It's done. I simply now take this. I'm getting some feedback from GoToWebinar. Somebody's mic went on. And now, instead of this boring prompt, write me an email I could use to promote ActiveCampaign, it says act as a marketing specialist who has a deep understanding of the unique features and benefits of ActiveCampaign. Craft a captivating and persuasive email that highlights blah, 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 blah. And now with my super prompt generator that I have, we're gonna get much better emails from and outputs. We don't have the time to compare these side by side, but trust me, you'll see in the case studies that I'm gonna give you later. I also have something I'm gonna show you real quick in the last 5 minutes of these case studies, and then we're gonna move on. And that is what I have here called the Better Mid-Journey Prompt Creator, okay? This is gonna show you something that you just paste all of this at one time into, it trains ChatGPT on Mid-Journey. So you put these in one time and then you're done. I'm gonna release this for you in just a minute as well. But once you do that, you're gonna get something that looks like this. So if I were to say something like, generate a prompt for, right? For, let's say, let's see, a man on a horse in the style of, what was that guy's name? Andy Warhol? If I spelt that right? Okay, so I'm simply gonna put this in like this. Now, because I've trained ChatGPT, as you can see with those pre-prompts that I was just telling you about, I'm gonna give you that document. So if you're ever struggling with text to image and you're not getting good images, let me boot up. I have a full demo tutorial. You can see last time I was showing people how to create a man and his son in a bakery in the style of Norman Rockwell. That's one. Here's another one that I did. I said, a man like Fonzie from Happy Days on a motorcycle in Manhattan in the style of blah, blah, blah. So this is Mid-Journey. Basically, you can put in a prompt here called Imagine. The video I'm going to share with you at the end will show you, and then you tell it what you want. But instead of me just saying a man on a horse in the style of Andy Warhol, I can now get this, and I can get these striking images. So I'm going to share that with you. And the purpose why I'm showing off all of this stuff, folks, is to let you know that essentially, if it's not clear, I've gone down the rabbit hole, okay, of AI. I want to continue to be your AI Sherpa. I'm going to show you in a second how you can join us at Groove.ai and you can help us back the project. We've already raised over $1 million. We have 1,500 people in the project already, which when all payments are done, we'll have $1.5 million to $2 million in all of the, to build this project like we did for Groove. We did a backer project for Groove and we have Groove today. And by September 1st, we're gonna have a project that I'm going to show you in just a minute that is going to be light years ahead of what you see with Jasper, because we understand the prompt engineering, and there's things that aren't in any platforms that we're going to show you in just a minute that that will allow you to be more productive with us than any other AI. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, but let's take a look. So this is done. I'm going to open this up in a browser here so we can see it a little bit better. But this is a man on a horse in the style of Andy Warhol. And honestly, if you would have asked somebody 3 years ago, what is this? They would have told you this must be some collection from Andy Warhol. And that's how beautiful that is. And again, I could have said in Norman Rockwell or in the style of Pixar. So if we were to put a boring prompt like this in, we wouldn't get all of this camera and ISO and all of this Canon, you know, all of this different stuff here. So I'm going to give you that as a free gift at the end of the webinar. So what I want to do right now is I want to talk to you about Groove.ai. Okay, we have the page open right here. What you can do right now, and I'm going to talk to you about the project in just a minute. You can go to Groove.ai/backer. Okay, on that page, make sure to hit the mute button so you're not computing with me, but you'll actually see that AI avatar that we have that I told you about. Okay, in our Facebook group and our trainings, I'm teaching AI. We're doing monthly AI live streams where I'm bringing you the latest information. We're here today, I had to combine everything, but when we do them on a live stream, we slow them down a little bit more and you actually get a lot of training. I've released 6 case studies that I'm going to give to you for free at the end in about 20, 30 minutes as well. But if you go to Groove.ai/backer, let me get it to you in a nutshell. Here's what we're doing. We're creating a Jasper competitor, but you'll pay one-time payment of $897 and you'll own it for life. Or if you back the project with us, you can pay 2 payments of $497. Again, you're going to get continued training with me on the current AI tools and how to use them until Groove.ai is ready. Or you can get in with 2 payments of $497. I'm going to show you a little bit of a secret right here. Okay. If you want to break this up into 4 payments, I have this little button right here called Happy Hour. And if you click on the Happy Hour, folks, you could get started today for just $250. That's it. That's it. Nothing more. Just $250 gets you into the program, into the Facebook group, all the trainings with me. After that, it's just 3 more payments. That's it. 4 payments of $250, and you could get part of Groove.ai. And let me tell you essentially what we're building. So I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to show you a mind map. Okay, and in this mind map here, the most important thing, and by the way, I'm going to share this mind map with you at the end of this presentation as well. As you can see, this is the scope of everything that we're building. But if I zoom in here, let's hit the center and zoom in, you're going to see there's some pretty incredible things that we're going to be building into this that other platforms don't have. I want to highlight some of those things right here. Number one is we're allowing you to create something that's known as a knowledge base. Okay, so unlike something like Copy.ai and Jasper, this is what they do. They say, what is your topic and what are the keywords? We're very, very different. Remember how I showed you chatbase.co and you could prime it on your own website and your own articles from your help desk and say, don't use the real world or blah, blah, blah. So what we're going to do is when you create a knowledge base, you can use it over and over and over again as a seed, as a primer in different projects, right? So you're going to be able to write information, paste information, give it a website URL for it to scrape or an RSS feed. You'll be able to give it a YouTube URL. You'll be able to upload an audio file or a video file. And then here you could give it relevant weights. So to basically say, okay, let's say you were going to write an article on, let's say global warming, right? And you uploaded 3 YouTube videos. You could make YouTube video 1 at 80%, saying this one, give it a lot more weight. And this one at 20%, this one at 50%. And then at the end, there'll be a final slider where you can move it to 100%, meaning you can only write information based on what you fed it, meaning your own ideas. If I was going to write about butterfly marketing, and I would slide that global for everything up to 100%. Or I could slide the slider down to 30%, meaning feel free to use your general knowledge to help me along the process. I'm open to some of your information that you have. There's nobody else that does that. So what that means is when you go to write on a topic of a blog, you'll be able to give it primer research. You like that YouTube video that guy did on the TED Talk? Great. Right now, none of these platforms are doing that. I wish I had more time to go over that with you and everything in this mind map. I just don't because of the time constraints for today. But here's the other things that we're going to do. We're going to have these frameworks for copywriting, and we know which ones are better. For instance, email works better with the feature advantage benefit framework. Long form sales letters do better with the attention, interest, desire, action framework. Okay. So we're going to have pre-built frameworks like the past, which is problem, agitate, solve, before, after, bridge, all of these different things, because I'm a copywriter, guys. Trust me when I tell you, the guys at Jasper are really smart guys, and who knows, maybe they're better at it than me. All right, I have a right to think that, I'm, in the Mount Rushmore of, or at least in the, as they say, the top NVA 50 of all time. I've made that team, I'm pretty sure, when it comes to copywriters. The guys at Jasper, Copy.ai, I'm sure they're really, really good, and they've got smart people on their team. But how you season prompts, as I just showed you here, is really the key behind here. And I can promise you the stuff that we're going to be giving you is going to be baked in, pre-seasoned, par-baked, better than anything that's out there. Those guys from Jasper were the people that created this company. I could be wrong, but this is what I know, is if you've ever heard of this company called Proof, they put the little widget here at the bottom of the website, use Proof, and it says, hey, somebody from San Diego signed up 2 minutes ago. They're the people that created Jasper. And good on them. They created a $1.5 billion a year company. What we're also going to have are frameworks for storytelling, like the hero's journey, the quest, the coming of age, the revenge, the love story, the rags to riches. Now, these are frameworks that can be used when you're creating a long form sales letter or video sales letter. Okay, especially John Benson with his storytelling will have a lot of that stuff. Here's something else that we do. You're going to be able to, again, I don't have the time to do this, but if I was able to show you in ChatGPT, I basically gave it the copy off of my website and I said, analyze this for tone and style. And then it did, and it knows how I write. And now my team is told anytime we get an email swipe copy from one of the people that we're promoting and they give us a pre-written email to sell their product, we simply say that, rewrite this in the style of Mike Filsaime. We are going to train our system on the writings of bloggers like Seth Godin, Neil Patel, and Tim Ferriss, and all of these different bloggers. We are going to train them on copywriters and direct response copywriters like Gary Benzavenga, John Carlton, Gary Halbert, all the different copywriters. These are just some examples. You're going to be able to blend these and say, I like Frank Kern with Gary Benzavenga because Benzavenga uses bullets. In fact, you'll be able to even apply your own styles trained by the users. So what you're going to be able to do is upload sales letters of Russell Brunson, Brendan Bouchard, and yourself and make your own style. So now when you go to write something, we're going to give you the normal stuff, like write it in a friendly style, an informational style, an informative style, a professional style, a friendly style. Come on, that's a basic style. We'll have that. You'll still be able to have a friendly Frank Kern and an informative Frank Kern, but nobody is doing this and allowing you to mix and match and blend very easily. You know how it's done? It's going to be just like this, guys. Just like you see with Chatbase, okay? We're going to allow you to go in and, when you say upload files, upload text, upload websites, and train it on stuff that's written by other people. We're also creating a tool like that latte.social that I told you about. We're gonna have a Chrome extension. We're gonna have tasks and workflows, so you're gonna be able to get things like titles, keywords, all of these different things are gonna be done here. The highlight of the app is our Better GPT assistant. If I could basically explain it to you this way, what you're going to have when you start out, you're going to create a project. You're going to either create a knowledge base or use one of your existing knowledge bases. Then you're going to select a style, and then you're going to have little tabs like you see at the bottom of a Google Sheets, and you're going to be able to have different conversations with ChatGPT. And then on the right side over here, you're going to have a document editor. And as you get an output from ChatGPT, you'll have a little plus button, and you'll just hit the plus, and it's going to import it right into your document editor over here. And you can make it an H1 tag. So the bottom line is you won't have to be using ChatGPT and a Google Doc. You're going to have everything in one interface, but designed for either SEO or copy, whatever it's your task requires. Okay. Again, I wish I had a little bit more time to go over all of this stuff here for you today, but we do have to keep moving on. But when you download the mind map, make sure to check out this Better GPT assistant. And again, you could go to Groove.ai replay and see the longer version of this presentation where I really break down this stuff. For content creation, you'll be able to do blogs, articles, emails, press releases, website copy, long and short, video sales letters, all your social media, your ads, your video scripts, your reports, freemiums, writing books, and more. You'll be able to do safety checks for plagiarism. You'll be able to do things like grammar. As we just showed you with latte.social, you'll be able to generate shorts and clips and generate a table of contents. You'll be able to do content summaries for your YouTube videos, websites, videos, audios, calls, Zoom or Skype calls. You'll be able to, this is the most important one here, folks. With Groove.ai, you're going to be able to give it your brand colors, and we will design and copy your entire website. You'll be able to create funnels, websites with sales copy, everything, simply with a prompt. Why? Because you're going to create a knowledge base by uploading the consciousness of your business by answering those 30 questions. Nobody else is doing this. Once it knows this, we'll say, what are your brand copy colors? And then we'll create it. You want a funnel for a webinar? Great. That little workflow that I showed you that you have to do in ChatGPT, asking navigation of a website, asking for the block by block breakdown. Okay, in the first block, what is the headline? We're going to automate that, as I showed you, using AutoGPT and Microsoft Jarvis and all of the plugins in a blog post that I wrote at groove.cm/blog. I'm basically giving the outline. Maybe I shouldn't be sharing my secrets to the world, but this is what we're going to be doing. This is what we're doing, folks. We're not just jumping in and creating, when we jump into a project with Groove.cm, we're trying to build a company worth $250 million to $1 billion. And many of our friends that are competitors in the industry have done things like that. Jasper is a $1 billion company. We're not creating, no offense, we're not creating a JVZoo app here, folks. You're helping us back a $1 billion project, and because of that, we're going to give you access for life. You're going to be able to do image and art, videos, voice, all that stuff, everything here. Again, more things that I'm able to do. So let me talk to you about the two big differences about Groove.ai. Number one, and folks, again, if you want to become a backer, go to Groove.ai/backer. Okay, because I'm removing the little happy hour here after the call is done. You can get in for one payment of $897, okay, or you could get in for two payments of $497, or if you click here looking for happy hour, $250 and you're in. If I haven't impressed upon you today that AI is the future, number one. Number two, that I'm in the elite with people like Alicia Little that knows about this, and I can be your marketing Sherpa, that we have a Facebook community already. Guys, you know how difficult it is to create a Facebook community of free members? Well, I'm showing you a Facebook community of paid members, and we have over 1,000 members in it, and it's lighting up. Here's me giving case studies, and users are talking about AI. If you want to be part of this for $250, come on. Go to Groove.ai, click on that little happy hour button, and get involved today with us. We are going to be developing something for you. That here is what when they say drop the beat, drop the mic. Okay, this is the point of the webinar where you want to pay attention. Right here, what we are creating is the WordPress of AI, or the Shopify of AI, or in many cases, the iPhone of AI. I don't want you to go, Mike, stop comparing yourself to the iPhone. No, I would never do that. I'm not that foolish to compare myself to Apple. I'm using the idea of a framework that Apple was the phone, right? Not the technology behind it. I'm not that obtuse, right? But the idea that the iPhone was an app that came with 30 native apps, a calendar app, a message app, a phone app, a weather app, and a contacts app, right? You know, there's about 30 of them. But when you look at your phone, you went to a marketplace that really extended the power of it. Folks, that's what we're building. We're building a marketplace with a user interface and an SDK that's going to allow developers to create apps for Groove.ai the same way that you go to WordPress to find themes and plugins, the same way you go to Shopify to find new billion-dollar companies like ShipStation is a company that was built off of the backbone of Shopify. We are creating the framework for developers to have a marketplace where they don't have to build a SaaS company and write sales copy. They can make a cool app and publish it in our marketplace, which you can extend. Just as you saw in the ClickFunnels marketplace, when more people started adding templates, it made it better. Marketplaces make things better, and this is the next difference that's going to make us different compared to anybody. And I will share this with all of you. You can find it at groove.ai/backer. I believe, you know what? I think it's at /replay. Let me see. Yeah, we give you it's right at the front of Groove.ai. Folks, you can just go to Groove.ai and you could click here where it says become a backer, and you could download the mind map there. But if you want to get access to that $250 happy hour option, you have to do that before we end in 20 minutes. Okay. Furthermore, let's just get back to here. Let me show you again what makes us different. Okay, is the APIs that we're connecting with. You see, all of the other people, they only work with like OpenAI. What we're doing, when I click our advantages here, is here I talk about the advantages between us and ChatGPT. So let's talk about that. Number one, it's slow. It's not reliable during peak times. You have to pay for the additional ones. They don't have you can't work with teams. You can't share your work. You can't export your work. It's hard to organize. There's no search. There's no tags. It's easy to delete and lose work. There's too many conversations. If anybody's using ChatGPT, you know exactly what I'm saying. Okay. What we're doing that is interesting, folks, we're kind of like an email platform that just built a user interface, but says, oh, if you want to send your email, just use your Twilio account to send text messages and emails. We're not even going to bill you. Just use your SendGrid account, use your Amazon account or your Mailgun account. We're doing the same thing. So our apps. Now, if you want us to take care of the APIs for you, you could do that. We'll have super pricing at wholesale essentially. But the better thing is for you just to go in, and we're going to have an onboarding. Just like in Groove, you'll have like an integrations, as you see here in the Groove platform. You'll click and you'll go to your integrations, and you'll add a new integration, right? And you'll see OpenAI, Stability.ai, Midjourney AI, Google, Meta. Now I have to add, let's just do it right now. We've got to add X.ai. There's Amazon that just came out with their own API. So we're going to add Amazon. So you could get free API keys from these people. It's very simple. NVIDIA, as I said, just came out. All of these things have API. So you're going to see an app. It'll tell you what API it requires. But here's the next thing that I want to let you know. If you sign up today on this webinar here, what we're going to do for anybody part of the Ultimate Product Profit Bootcamp, we're going to give you $100 worth of credit. Now, if you say, what does that actually mean? Well, folks, I've been using OpenAI, and so far my bill with them has been $1.30, and I use it a lot. So that's the problem when you use Jasper and Copy.ai. They're going to charge you $99 a month every single month, even if you use the system or not. Even though that you're only using about $3 worth of wholesale pricing, they're charging you $199. With us, you'll get lifetime access. And if you don't use it for 2 months, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's, you know, the lifeblood of your business, but if you don't use it, you don't pay. And if you do use it, like me, you'll get a bill for like $6 if you're a power user. Why? Because here's what it is. When the credits that we're giving you, for $100, we're giving you free credits. You're probably going to be able to use it. I don't know. I can't say. But for a long time before you ever even have to get a bill from OpenAI. And when you do, like I said, it's going to be like a couple of dollars. Because for $100, I'm able to get you 1,000, the equivalent, or the actual 37.5 million words of input and output. 37.5 million words. That's the equivalent of you writing one email every single day for a century. That's the amount of credits that it's equivalent that you're going to be getting. So don't worry about any of this other stuff. The bottom line is you're going to get wholesale pricing, so you don't have to worry about paying $99 a month and paying for something you're not using that's marked up at 15 to 20 times the wholesale rate. You're going to have lifetime access. You're only going to pay for what you use the same way I do it, because you're going to get wholesale pricing by directly going to the source for your API. Okay? That's like using MailChimp and saying, hey, can I get wholesale pricing instead of paying me monthly, only pay when I send an email? Yeah, now you pay them, you know, $1.80 a month instead of $99 a month. That's the equivalent here. And we're going to then give you a marketplace tied around it. So to wrap this up, folks, you're going to go to Groove.ai. Literally, just go to Groove.ai and you're all said and done. Okay? Groove.ai, you'll be able to get the mind map right here. Then you click here, you can go down, you can get started for $897 or 2 payments of $497. And if you want to go for the $250, you just go right here. Now I'm going to instruct my team to take the $250 off in 5 minutes. So you need to do that now, because we're going to take that option off. And when we refresh the page, it's no longer going to be there. I want to take the time to congratulate some of the users that have gotten access while we've been on here, because we're just about to give you your gifts and then bring Anthony back on to wrap up. But if we go to the transactions for today, and if we click on just people that are buying Groove.ai, and if we look right here, I want to congratulate those of you that have purchased. We've got John Condon, Richard Trumner, and Iglesias Diaz. That's from those of you that have joined since the webinar. We'll hit the refresh button. We're going to stay on for a little bit of Q&A, see if my team has any questions for me, or I can go through here as well. Let me also show you right here. Again, just go to Groove.ai/backer, or just go to Groove.ai, and you could get become part of this. And now let me give you the gifts. Okay, the gifts. This is where you're going to get the gifts. You're going to go to Groove.ai/case-studies. Okay, that's it. Groove.ai/case-studies. Okay, and let me show you how that URL is going to look. Okay, you just go there, Groove.ai/case-studies, STUDIES. And what you're going to see are 6 different case studies right down here. Okay, case study 1, case study 2, case study 3, case study 4, case study 5, and case study 6. Okay, and that will give you pretty much everything. As you see, some of these, if you go to case study 2 here, you're going to notice that it comes with the resources document that I was telling you about, the 30 questions that you'll need for your business. If you go to case study 4, this shows you what I showed you with Latte Social, how you can do it manually. There's a document here that basically shows you all of the prompts that are needed, along with a case study and training. Remember, I told you how to get better mid-journey prompts. Well, you'll be able to do that as well with this prompt right here. These are the prompt document, and all of the training will be in this video. And case study 6, this one right here shows you how to get the magic prompt. This is the one that shows you how to put a boring prompt in and get a super prompt, so you can get better stuff out of ChatGPT. And there's also a video here of me explaining everything on how to do it. So All of the documents for the prompts are all located for you guys right here. All 6 case studies can be found right here. You have just a few minutes before we take the happy hour away. My team's taking that down in just a matter of minutes. So go to Groove.ai or Groove.ai/backer. You can get started for $8.97 or 2 payments of $4.97, or click the happy hour over the next 3 minutes if you want to get started for $200. And what I want to do right now is I want to take some questions from you guys as well, and then we're going to be wrapping up. And let's see here. We have just in the last few seconds, John Cunningham just got in. He took the 250 option. Jaspreet Priti Sandhu just got in at 541. And as we said, John Condit and Richard Tumner as well. So we want to congratulate you guys. I'll do one more time before we wrap up. Let's go answer some of your questions right now. Ron Soker, literally, as we were talking, literally as I hit refresh, Ron just got in. He became a backer with Roger at the full $8.97. Guys, I want to thank you very much for putting your trust in me, because we're going to really over deliver for you. Wait till you get into that Facebook group and see the case studies that I'm dropping in there for you. You're going to see the blog posts that I'm writing, or the content posts, and the live streams that I'm going to be doing. So let's look at some of the questions here. Let's see. Bear with me, folks. I'm just looking here. What if, okay, Donna, some people have already been asked. In other words, okay. In other words, if I pay the $250 now, what do I have to pay later? It's 4 payments of $250. Pay $250 today, and then 3 more payments. Okay, it's a 4-part installment plan.
Hey, Mike.
I would like to, yes.
Mike, there's a Q&A doc for you in your Skype.
Okay, thank you.
That makes it easier, yeah.
It's going to make it a lot easier. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Can I translate AI? Can AI translate from English to another language? Yes, folks, it can. In fact, it can even translate to Dothraki or make up a language for you. So that's the beautiful thing about AI. If you use it, by the way, we're going to have an AI chatbot maker, the one that I showed you from chatbase.co. We're going to make that as well, so you can have a chatbot at your website. So it's going to replace 70% of your customer support, and it can do it in any language. Chad asks, is AI generated content safe for use on a website? Will it hurt your ranking? Oh my goodness, absolutely yes, it's safe to use and it will not hurt your ranking. Here's what we need to understand. What does Google care about more than anything? They care about value to the end consumer. They're going to measure your people vote with their wallets and with their back button. They vote with their wallets when they buy something and when they don't. And they vote with Google with the back button. It's called the bounce rate. When people go to your website and they bounce, that's because you tried to automate everything without human intervention. Donna Fox dropped something in here. Let me show you. She writes, copywriting at its finest, and my team is going laugh out loud because a company put here, SpaceX Starship flight test experiences rapid unscheduled disassembly. That is AI. And you could spot it a mile away. That's letting AI write your headlines and write your copy, and you don't go over it. Okay, let me show you what I did. Okay, when I created this right here, this blog post, I didn't tell it, write me, the convergence of what happens when ChatGPT meets AutoGPT meets plugins meet Jarvis, and let it just come up with this, what I will call a brilliant article that is a must read for everybody watching here today. What I did is I went into ChatGPT and Microsoft Bing, and I got lots of different information, and you'll probably see if I didn't delete it, AutoGPT versus ChatGPT. So it gave me some information, and when I found something I liked, I would either say rewrite this or take, and that's what I was saying about the future is using this as an interface where you can move this stuff over to a Google Doc. You'll see here, AI revolutionizes digital marketing. I'm having it write the headlines and my blogs here for me, but cut it down by 70%, right? I'm having a conversation with it. Here, this is more, let's just go to the top so we can see. Write this to digital marketers that have very basic and limited understanding of AI. Write it at a 12th grade reading level. It's okay to talk tech, but don't sound too techy. Explain it to the layman. And then I would post what I wrote, because I don't write very well. I write very grunty. I jam these incredible, brilliant square blocks into round holes. And Donna will look at my VSLs and say, wow, that's really good, Mike, but do not release that and don't record it. It needs, Simone and I have to spend a day cleaning up your brilliance, so to speak, and make it, codify my thoughts. So I can take my thoughts that I actually write, and then it writes it, okay? And then I'll say, okay, now the same for this. And then it does it. And I have a conversation with these things. And you can see I have multiple conversations going on as I'm doing this. Rewrite this better. This is what I wrote. And some of this stuff, I got ideas from Bing and ChatGPT, and it gives it to me, and I say, rewrite this better, et cetera, et cetera. And so it doesn't write the blog post for you. What it does is it helps you write a better blog post. Okay, and these are all of my ideas codified much better. So to answer your question there, Chad, is AI content safe to use on your website? Look, Google is big into AI. Like, for Google to be releasing Bard and then telling you that you can't use it would be foolish. What they don't want you to do is just have it write something and not read it. What they want you to do is formulate your own outline. And so when I needed to talk about Auto GPT, I said summarize Auto GPT for me into 3 paragraphs. And then I didn't like the first part of it. I would say rewrite this better, and I would use different parts of it. And it's helping me craft and get out what I want in my mind and do something better than I'd ever been able to do. And something, frankly, I didn't do because it was too hard for me to write blogs. I'm not that type of person. Some of you are. 20% of you, the type of people that wake up in the morning and just love to write content. I like to present content, and presenting content means I can sound brilliant when I do a webinar presentation. But for me to write a video sales letter, I have to disappear for 48 hours and work until 6 in the morning, and I get a really good draft done. But without something like Grammarly and right-clicking, even what I get over to Donna and Simone to proofread for me and make better, I've seen some of my old writings, and they needed a proofreader. I couldn't go without a ghostwriter behind me. Tony says, and let's just see, did we get anybody after Ron that we can congratulate right here? We have exactly 6 minutes left, guys. Yeah, 2 more people. 3, Nathan Sherry got in for $250. Daryl, congratulations, Nathan, Daryl, and Heather. So happy to see you, Heather Dickinson. Wait till you see what we have in store for you. When you get on the thank you page, just click that Facebook group. We're going to continue this. As I said, I'm going to be your marketing Sherpa, and I promise you, you're going to be the most effective digital marketers and e-commerce marketers when you are part of this Groove.ai community. Jump in for $250 because we're taking that off as we wrap this up. We got 3 more questions here. Tony says, after I become a backer, what additional expenses should I prepare for? Well, I need to buy ChatGPT. Number 1, it's $20. ChatGPT it's kind of like the next Google. It's good when you need something quick, but when you're going to go into the creative process to do something for your marketing, you're going to want to use Groove.ai. If you want to see some of the things that I had conversations with, with ChatGPT recently, I want to get audio. How do I play sound on my Mac on my GoToWebinar? I was having a problem with the tool that did that before, and at the last minute I scrapped it. Removing echo, right? I did this video that you see right here, okay? And it's in my house. I have tiled floors, high ceilings, and so I'm not going to use Groove.ai for that. I mean, I could, but to me, I like ChatGPT. It's kind of like it's a search engine for me. It's so for me, for $20, I think it's worth it. But let's see, what other expenses should I prepare for? Well, remember, we're giving you 37 million words free, but after that, you're going to need to put in your own API key. So instead of paying us $99 a month or 99 or 199 a month, like we're going to charge people once this project is done, we're going to have a regular pricing plan of like $497 a year or $99 a month. At that point, you'll pay us $99 a month. But if you're a backer, you don't have to worry about that. You'll own this for life. And the only thing you'll do is you'll plug in your own APIs and you'll get a bill for like $5 or $6 because AI has a cost, right? You know, none of us can get around that. AI has a cost, but you're going to be buying it at wholesale. You're going to be buying it at the developer's rate, and you don't get billed a monthly price. If you don't use it, you don't pay. When you do use it, you'll get a bill for a couple of bucks at the end of the month. All right. Next is, oh, and remember, if you do buy anything from the marketplace, right? Like if I created WordPress and I gave it to you for free, you know, I can't tell you that you're not going to have to buy a theme or a plugin from someone else. You might find somebody that comes out with the coolest damn tool. And that's why we want to create this platform, is so that you could get exposure in our marketplace, but it'll work inside of our user interface with your own API. You see the difference? You're going to be able to buy a tool from somebody for $47 one time, instead of them having to charge you $47 a month because they have to pay for the AI cost. No, they don't care about the cost. They'll sell it to you, and then you can just use your own API at wholesale. When will Groove.ai be live? September 1st is when you will get early access to the beta. Will you be updating, and will we be getting updates as a backer? Yes, pretty much. You'll see me in that Facebook group, which is only available to paid members. Okay, we've got 4 minutes left. Robert, will we need to still subscribe to ChatGPT Pro when Groove.ai comes out? Look, man, I'm telling you, what I'm seeing from ChatGPT, that they're adding the plugins marketplace, it's almost like saying this: will we still need Google? Folks, for 20 bucks, ChatGPT will have access. It'll have its own marketplace that, you know, when I first got on with Groove.ai, I said, you know, the only AI tool you'll ever need. The bottom line is AI is the future. What we're doing is we're creating a platform where your direct response marketing needs are going to be met leaps and bounds around anyone else. But I can't tell you that somebody's not going to come out with the coolest way to book a hotel and buy food from your local supermarket using ChatGPT. You know what I mean? There's going to be real world stuff, but when it comes to being a digital marketer, nobody's going to compete with us. We're going to do our final refresh here, and then you won't be seeing that happy hour anymore. Right here, and we have our final refresh. See if anybody else popped in, and then we're going to ask Tony to come in. So that's it. We're going to end there with Heather. It is 5:57 and 30 seconds. We have 2.5 minutes left. That wraps it up, folks. What you're going to do is you're going to go to Groove.ai forward. Just go to Groove.ai to get started. You'll have everything you need, and you can go to Groove.ai/case studies, which looks like this. Okay, in your browser, and you'll get all of those gifts that I promised you. And I'm going to put my webcam back on, and I'm going to invite Anthony back on so that we can transition on time like a true professional for our next guest coming in at 6 o'clock.
You are fantastic, to say the least, Mike. That was brilliant. I'm blown away, man. I have I've been making notes like a nut job, because
some good resources there, right?
1,000,000%. And I love what you're making. I think it's fantastic, and I'll be a backer as well. So
yeah, thank you so much. What do you think of that latte.social?
I thought, honestly, all of them I think are nuts. What they can do and how they can change it. You know, can't remember the names. I'm all written down because you gave us so many. I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit bad. I'm open on the tabs. But the video one, to turn them into like taking video content and turning it into, like, I would have loved.
That was it. That was latte.social. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, because, like, you know, so real quick story. My 4 of my kids are marketers, right? Okay. Gone through college. 3 of them gone through college. One of them is actually working in the business with me. He's on. But one of them is down selling windowsills for construction made out of polystyrene, right? And they have, company did $1 million last year, and they've got over $2 million worth of inquiries in the last 2 months from TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Crazy.
Okay. Just standing there talking about the product. So I wanted to get on it, but like the amount of editing, like I want to take clips from you and clips from all the other, but the amount of editing by the time you get it done, you're onto something else. But being able to just go in and take the videos now and chop them and create them, it's amazing. And you know, you'd wonder in 2 or 3 years' time, will we be needed at all? Will we be just able to program it and head away off? And the amount of time that you're like, I think the internet lifestyle really is everybody wants more time and freedom. And that's exactly what this is going to give me. I understand the connotations on the other side and the nervousness of it, being blunt, but we won't get into that conversation because we'd be here an hour. But, you know, I think it's a tool that's there if it's going to, anything that buys you back time. You know, like recently my wife has gone through cancer, and it's become very apparent to me that time is the most vital asset in the world. Money is not it, it's time. I know she's come out the other side of it. It was a bad prognosis, but she's come out the other side of it. We're nearly out through it, thank God. But it's like I've been able to have the time and having more time. And I'm going to tell you a little quick thing. The opt-in page, I wrote it, Mo wrote one, and ChatGPT wrote one. And the one that beat her ass, though I edited it a bit, was ChatGPT.
And that's what we want, right? Make our life simple. Yeah, it's always on its A game. It doesn't have a sore throat. It doesn't feel a little sick. It gives you an A every time. Maybe not an A plus, but a solid A every time. Are you going to get that from me or from you every time with everything we have going on in our day? Come up with a headline, a bullet point. We're going to give you a C plus. If you put you away, Anthony, for a week and said, read these books on copywriting, how to make bullets and how to do a webinar page, you'll probably come up with an A plus. But when you got to prep for everything that you need here in the Ultimate Profit Bootcamp, like this is what I refer to as it's the get me done stuff. All right, just get a headline, get the page, get a logo done. All these things are just get it done. And we do a C plus at best. Yeah. We can confidently get an A every time from AI. There was one more tool I wanted to give. I'm not even going to put my tool up. It's called Bardeen, BARDEEN.ai. This is a new AI tool that is absolutely just mind-blowing because it's uses AI and a browser to automate tasks. It actually goes in and they'll show you demos, like you can create this goal workflow where it'll go to LinkedIn, click on this, click and copy, and then paste it into a Google Sheets for you. It's this, oh my goodness, it's not like Zapier. You'll have to just see it at the website. It's called Bardeen, BARDEEN.ai. It's quite phenomenal.
I have it written down, and I agree with you on, like, to me, I think this is like the reinvention of the internet. There's been something had to come that was going to, like, the internet has been in its current form for a long time in internet years, and now this is really revolutionizing and changing the game. And you know, you actually solved one of my problems because I was going to get a coder to write an internal chat GPT for one of my sites and you just solved it for me, so thank you very, very much, because it was the first thing I thought of. Like, imagine just being able to sit on a website, ask a question and be brought to where the answer is. You know, how do I do this? Go here and do this. How do I do that? Go here and do this. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And I love the software you're making, the fact that you're integrating it all, because I think that's going to be vital for people moving forward. Because again, AI is fantastic, but there's a bit of this. There's Bing, there's Bing on Skype, there's Bing on your computer, there's ChatGPT, there's all these different apps, and they're going to be all over the place, and you're going to have 7,000 tabs open. Whereas now what you're doing is consolidating all of that into one platform, and then also the psychology of what you're going to make it for this business, which I think is absolute genius.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to take our direct response and make it for creative people like everybody on this call to get better conversions. You know, what we're going to do to help people convert, they'll never be able to measure. They won't know how good that $250 investment times 4 payment is, because as you just said, when you do a better headline, better bullets, better everything, we're doing 4x better with this promotion than we've done with any other promotion ever in the history of my 20 years online in terms of conversion at a website. It's And it's all because we're efficient everywhere, all the way down to the exit pop. And so are we going to have things like text to image? Yeah, we're going to have that. Are we going to be better than Adobe Firefly? No. Adobe and Canva are putting, tens of millions of, maybe $100 million into being the best out there. They're going to be on the cutting edge of text to video. And so we'll have those basic things in there. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie to anybody and tell them that I'm going to do a better job at creating a graphical user interface than Canva and Adobe Firefly. Are we going to be the best in the world at doing conversions? Yeah, I think we can be. I think what Russell did for ClickFunnels by being the first one out there and establishing that in the marketplace and holding on to it for a while, I think we're going to, our goal is to do what Russell did to Lead Pages. We're looking to do that to Jasper and Copy.ai and basically come out and be the premier platform for digital marketers. And those that were on here on the Ultimate Profit Bootcamp and got in for life will be very thankful.
And honestly, I don't care what level you're at, right? You're able to plug in, because the questions I get asked from my students are, I don't know what to write today in an email. I don't know what to post on social media. How do I create an opt-in page? What do I put on as the headline? These are all the questions that we're being asked, and this platform that Mike is making will have one place where you can go and just have it plugged into a number of different places, get all that answers into one platform, and move very, very quickly. And speed is the profit maker on the internet.
Money like speed.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Absolutely, it was an honor having you on, man. It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you just to leave the card open a little bit longer for the guys, just because I see some people.
Yeah, we'll leave it running until you're done with your presentation for the day. I'll tell the team we're going to leave it open. So I just want to let Donna or anybody on my team know when we get out of here and we hit the X, go to webinar. It's going to prompt us with end webinar or leave webinar. So we're going to click leave.
No, don't
webinar.
do anything. I'll kick you out. It's fine.
You'll kick me out.
I will look after it. I will look after it.
All right, say goodbye to us.
You know Paul Mahoney well, right? As well as I do.
Paul O'Mahony.
Paul O'Mahony, thank you very much. And they just do this whole webinar session about they're going to teach the webinars, and he ended the webinar. Well, he is never living it down with me. Their presentation was fantastic with Anthony Morrison, but I am never going to let, and I've done it myself, but I'm never going to let him live it down. Mike, thank you very much, my friend. Great to see you. And that was absolutely mind-blowing, as you promised. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Take care.
See you later.